Good Packer Nation morning, guys and dolls. It's final Friday. I hope you are ready to roll into a weekend. Enjoyed a little football last night. Chiefs against the Raiders. Let me know who you are, where you're coming at me from, and we will do a little Packer Nation roll call as I get a little coffee because it's a little chilly. I am in Wisconsin. At my sister's beautiful home. She's a talented interior designer. It's a great place to stay. I'm in Sheboygan, just a few blocks off Lake Michigan, which I absolutely love. So I hope you are having a great day so far this morning. We're going to talk a little Packers as you guys get on this morning. Who are you? Where are you coming at me from? Let's do a little Packer Nation roll call. And while you get on, we've got to start talking about this Seahawks game. I am really nervous about this game. Hey there, Mike. Winnipeg is here, and you are probably colder than me, Mike, right now. It's really, the temperatures aren't that bad. Upper 20s, but the wind is really ripping right now, and it's a little chillier than it seems by temperature. So is here, and send good morning there. How you doing? I'm glad you're on. Good to see you. David from Minnesota, holding down the fort. You got to have the Packer faithful in Minnesota on this show. Very important people to Packer Nation. So thanks for jumping on, David. Tucson is here. Mike and Travis and Giuseppe is here as well. And my phone is freaking out. For some reason, my phone wants to go into... My phone actually... Okay, I think we got that squared away. What was happening was I got a new little catch for my tripod. So I can mount the phone to a real tripod, and for some reason it was sliding down, and it actually hit my power button and was squeezing it. So Yolanda is here, Sean, Dawn, Marie, and Monica. Good morning to all of you. Glad to see you. Philip is here again. Good to see you, bro. LB and Monica. All right. Yeah, folks, the weather report for Green Bay, Wisconsin looks like about the 30-degree range, just a shade, just about at freezing or a shade under. They are calling for snow. This could be this could be a winter wonderland at Lambeau. I can't freaking wait. I'm going to be there. There's a few people that have contacted me, said they're going to be there as well. I am going to probably have to do some kind of a shout out, let everybody know where I'm at so you guys can come catch up. We can say hi, shake hands, say go Pack to each other in person. Wouldn't that be awesome? Hi there, Tammy. Kirk LB says snow, snow, snow. I think I want the snow badly. I think I want the snow for this game. I think now the thing that I'm a little concerned about is the wind. And if you guys saw the feed we did yesterday at Lambeau, the wind was absolutely howling. And I think, obviously, if you take away the passing game with wind like that or make it difficult, you can throw off the Packers' best offensive weapon. This is a huge problem. I know the wind works against both teams equally, but both teams do not rely equally on their quarterback. That's the problem I have with the wind. So I am hopeful that we will get a ton of snow, but there won't be a ton of wind because I have a feeling if you look at this, and it's Prediction Friday, so we're going to do your predictions in just a minute. Twin is here. Twin Harlow from Seattle. Good to see you. Now, are you a Packer fan or are you jumping on here from Seattle, or are you a Seahawks fan jumping on here to see what we folks are saying about this game? I'm not sure about that. I'll assume Green Bay. Yolanda, Green Bay advantage in the snow. I think we have an advantage in the snow. I think we have a disadvantage in the wind for two reasons. Not just the fact that Aaron Rodgers could be hampered by it, but also I've got this funny feeling. And it kind of goes against reason. It kind of goes against the way you would think that this game would lay out. But I've got this funny feeling that this one might come down to a field goal. We've had these close games with the Seahawks in the past. Joe is here from the UP. All right, good to see you. And I am concerned about the wind, because again, you have the wind, obviously it makes it harder for the Packers to score because we rely so much on Aaron Rodgers. But if it comes down to a field goal and Mason Crosby has to trot out on the field, it could hamper him. Now I know the reason we drafted him was for his strong leg. He can kick through the wind, and he kicks at Lambeau all the time. So he has the experience. On the Seattle side of it, they don't have that. So in the event the field goal for the win was in Seattle's court. I do think it could help us out, and that win could be a real problem for the Seahawks. Frankly, though, I would like to see this game become a ground and pound with a little mix in of the short pass. Even if there is wind, we may be able to get completions with the short passing game. And Aaron Rodgers is going to be absolutely critical for this team being able to, number one, have a chance in this game. This is the Seahawks, guys. This is going to be one tough game. But also going down the stretch, we have to have Aaron Rodgers able to play. But in this game, the wind, the weather could legitimately threaten his chances of being as effective as we need him to be. We need Aaron Rodgers to be there, to be as healthy as possible with the hamstring injury, and to be able to use his pinpoint accuracy that he has recovered. There was a little bit, early in the season, he wasn't quite playing as well as we've seen, but he is playing lights out football right now. The problem with the wind is that could throw all that to the wind. Yeah, I said that. I'm sorry. It's Friday, so, But yeah, I would like to see this game become a ground and pound game because our Packers defense is fairly good against the run. It would lend itself to our defense to have. Now, again, we don't know who we're going to have in there. Is Ryan going to be able to play? Is Matthews going to be able to play? Nick Perry is out. So the injury situation still hurts us, but I think our best chance is if we don't have Russell Wilson throwing the ball over top of us all the time, because our defensive backfield has struggled of late. Now, lately, in the last couple games, we've been able to keep teams out of the end zone, and if we can do that, that'll be fantastic. But I think it starts, if this game ends up being a ground and pound kind of running focused game, I think it plays into our defense's hands. Not that the Seattle Seahawks don't have a good running attack, but they don't have Marshawn Lynch anymore. And their offensive line is, stable to good. But I think it plays into our hands because on the offensive side of the ball, again, I'm still hopeful that Aaron Rodgers, at least we can have that short passing game, Jared Cook, Randall Cobb, and then maybe once in a while we can get a shot to Jordy Nelson, Devontae Adams. However, the Packers, I think, might very well, it's still a question mark, but I think they might have an advantage in the run game because our running game is so multiple. If the Packers line up against the Seahawks rushing attack, it's very typical. Anybody lining up against the Packers rushing attack, if in fact Christine Michael can become sort of the standard running back for the team, the second down back, James Starks can become the third down back. Now you add to that Aaron Ripkowski, who can carry the ball on his own, can catch out of the backfield, and can lead block. Not only that, but we also have Ty Montgomery, who is a sideline-to-sideline threat. Not only that, but he can also run up the middle, and add to that, on top of everything else, remember the Jeff Janis jet sweep. This is a team, an offense that in the running game right now can truly stretch teams side to side, can also hopefully, with Christine Michael, we saw a little glimpse of it, can pound the rock up the middle. And if you get Christine Michael past the second level, he can open it up. And he can make people miss. Now you put the snow into the equation, and the Packers, I think, have an advantage in that situation. And frankly, it's one of the few situations I think that the Packers have an advantage in right now. The offense is getting healthy, but we still have to sort out the traditional running back situation. But the defense is, every time we bring one person back, we see another one go out. We couldn't, of course, Nick Perry finally gets healthy all the way through training camp and now will not be available in the Seahawks game when we need him the most. Clay Matthews injures the hammy, misses a couple games, finally is able to come back and then gets that crackback block that busts his shoulder up, and now we're not sure if he's going to play. It's disgusting what's happened in terms of injuries out there. With that said, I think the snow might be our biggest friend come Sunday afternoon. So, all right, let's check out a few comments. I haven't been paying real close attention to them. And Mark is making a bold prediction here. I like it, Mark. I think Allison is going to be our secret weapon. Geronimo Allison has continued to get reps in the Packers offense. And a big, tall guy, high-waisted receiver. He can, again, he has a passing game with his, along with Jared Cook, et cetera, et cetera. We have to practice our safety drills. Peppers, baby, says Timothy. Julius Peppers was limited in practice as well. I expect him to play. He has truly turned it on of late, and I predicted this. Anybody that talked to me about Julius Peppers, I said, listen, they're holding him out, but when the playoffs come around or December football comes around and it really, really matters, and we know how much it matters, they are going to unleash Julius Peppers, and he is going to play lights out football. He has been playing great ball, and I expect him to have a good game because he knows every detail of what's on the line right now. He's been there, he's done that, and he's ready to play in the snow. He played in Chicago, came from Carolina, of course, but he played in Chicago, has played in Green Bay for a couple of years. He's going to have a field day, I think, there. And Russell Wilson had better watch out. Especially dangerous. He will be especially dangerous if Clay Matthews, hurt or not, can step up his game and play sort of lights out, the kind of football that we're used to seeing Clay Matthews play. So we will see. LB is predicting Cook with a big game, 6 catches and over 100 yards. I would say possibly the 6 catches. I would be a little hesitant to boldly predict, although I appreciate the bold prediction. Over 100 yards for Jared Cook in this game. I think they're going to limit, I think the passes are going to be shorter, basically. You play in the snow like this, I think we're going to play a more possession receiving game. I hope we play that. There will be, I think, 1 to 2 shot plays in this game, and we need to take them. We can't miss out on those. If the wind is as bad as it was yesterday evening, then we may see those fade away as well. I would expect Jared Cook to be catching passes over the middle in that 6 to 8 yard range. Hopefully, maybe makes some miss. Gets 8 or 12 probably as his biggest, I would expect, his biggest catch of the game. And if he gets 6 of those, I'll be happy because I think we'll have a very good chance to win if he does. Timothy says Jordy plays best in the snow. We saw Randall Cobb do the snow angel, and the beauty of it is that they have one snow game under their belts already. It's extremely important. We watched this Packers team, and they still needed to really get their feet under themselves a little bit in terms of playing in the snow. You have to cut a little slower. You have to make sure you cut off your outside foot. Other teams are not going to be ready for this. Seattle is not going to be ready for this. Now, again, I don't expect Seattle to fall apart, but I do expect it to give the Packers a slight advantage in a game where we need every advantage that we can possibly get. Twin says we got snow here in Seattle. It won't be anything like what you get here. The wind chills would probably be, especially if they're like the other day, right around 0 degrees, and Lambeau Field is going to be frozen. And it's interesting because the atrium at Lambeau, they have radiant heat in the floors, and we were positing that probably the visiting locker room doesn't have that feature. So the snow will be a factor. Brian is here. Do we give Christine Michael a chance? Well, and that's a good question and I was talking to Jonah and he asked the same question because frankly, I thought Christine Michael showed enough. What happened in the game against the Texans was the Packers had to go away from offensive personnel packages that included that traditional running back. Christine Michael ended up not getting the reps that even Mike McCarthy admitted this. He said we were expecting him to get more reps. We had to go away from the personnel packages that included him, and that's why he didn't show back up again until the end of the game. Now, in this game, I guess to some extent, I still do have the question, are they going to use the guy? But I think very much we are going to see Christine Michael in this game. Unleash the hounds, man. The Seahawks, and this is my word to Christine Michael. The Seahawks cut you. Herky jerky on the feed. I'm going to hold up for a second. It's getting pretty busy out there. The Seahawks cut you. Go take it out on them on the field. Now is your chance. Let's feed this guy the ball. We know I can see Christine Michael being the same as that James Starks down the stretch in 2010, as Ryan Grant from time to time, and actually getting out there. I don't expect him to be a perennial 100-yard rusher. I'd love to see it. but I do expect him to be a difference maker in this game. That would almost be I predicted him to get 50 yards in the game against the Texans because I thought the Packers were going to feed him the ball a little bit more. Had they fed him the ball, the average he was doing, he would have beat what I was thinking. I think they knew, and Christine Michael needs to make sure he hangs onto that ball, and that's all we got to do. We got to make sure the running game, we have to have a threat up the middle, because once we do that, and with Aaron Ripkowski as a lead blocker or the quick hit to him, Christine Michael, I'm not real fond of seeing James Starks out there as a first and second down back right now. He has value to the team because of his veteran presence to go out there on third down in pass protection, possibly catch out of the backfield when things break down. But I would love to see Christine Michael. Kristen, this could be your game. You could make your nut on this game against Seattle because the Packers need it. They need you. If you go in there and you show that you deserve to get fed that ball, this could be a coming of age game for Christine Michael. I truly believe that. And Bryce is saying he's going to be more consistent than Starks has ever been. And yeah, Starks had, a career season last year. I was very happy they signed him back because he's a veteran guy. But then this year, he just has not been very effective. We know he's got a little bit of an issue with the hanging onto the ball. And he tends to drop passes out of the backfield. Well, you can't do that and continue. The Packers can't do that and have a chance to beat the Seattle Seahawks. Let's just put it that way. I imagine many of you can agree the Packers cannot have James Starks out there stalling out, not able to even put a foot down and get a yard at a time, and then dropping passes out of the backfield. We can't have that kind of stuff and have a chance to beat the Seattle Seahawks. We've got to square away the details if we want to beat this team. So Tim says Ty was 60 yards on the ground. Bold prediction. I like it. Again, Montgomery is showing to be more of a player than Starks right now. A better running back as far as I'm concerned, and he's a wide receiver. So it's really something. Samantha is here. Hi there. She said hi to me, so I wanted to stop and say hi. Oh no, Gene said Skip Bayless just predicted a Packers victory. Okay, Gene, I got one question for you. Why are you watching Skip Bayless? I mean, come on. It's because of Shannon Sharp, right? All right, well, I hope Skip is right for a change. Peter says this is the Packers Super Bowl. Every single game, I completely agree with you, Peter. Every game we have to play like this. Guys, we mentioned a long time ago, this was back probably 2 games into our losing streak, and we talked about this, and I shudder to even mention it. But if this Packers team, let's put it this way, and of course, if's a big word. What if there were no hypothetical situations, right? But if this Packers team can beat the Seattle Seahawks, what is that going to say about their chances down the road? It's going to speak volumes for their chances down the stretch. If they can do this. If they can do this, then they can do that. Then they can run the table down the stretch. If they can do that, then just think the possibility of this team, and I'm not going to say it out loud, but this team doing what we all thought this team could do under the circumstances that this team has found itself this year, would that not be mythical, epic, whatever name you want to put on it? Give me a heart if it would just be absolutely epic. I think it would be frankly epic if this team could beat the Seahawks come Sunday because of what it says for the Packers team down the stretch and into what then hopefully could be the playoffs, which is how we were saying it just a few short weeks ago. Again, this team still needs a marquee win. The Seattle Seahawks are the only team on the schedule right now that I see as a marquee win. If we don't do this one, then frankly, it may not matter because the Detroit Lions paid us no favors by beating the Saints. Drew Brees did nothing in that game. Ticked me off because I'm a Drew Brees. I'm not a Drew Brees fan, but I'm a fan of the way he plays the game. And the Detroit Lions are continuing to win. Now they play the Giants. We thought they play the Cowboys. We thought the road was rough for them. Well, now the Giants, JPP, undergoing surgery. He's not going to be in that game. So that says that the Detroit Lions now have an opportunity to win that one as well. Even though the Giants, I still think, are a threat. But for crying out loud, it is going to be epic if the Packers, and it will be a game that gets mentioned and shown again and again in highlight films. If we have a ton of snow and the Packers go out there and feed off it, I love play. Is anybody else out there? Maybe nobody is like me in this, all right? But just respond to me if you will. Is there anybody else out there that just absolutely loves playing football in the snow? To me, there's nothing better. If my buddy Garth is out there, he's probably done this. Zach Thundercloud, Rick Motti probably. I don't know. When the grade school I went up to, we played football in the snow every day on the playground. And the reason it was fun is we played tackle football in the snow until they told us to stop. Because when it snows, it's soft to land on. We're playing on blacktop. I love football in the snow. That's what I should have titled this video blog, this feed. Maureen says, football season starts when I see the first snow. It's freaking awesome. And I think it may bode well for the Packers, and I hope that snow comes. I can't wait to stand out there in Lambeau Field, man. If they need me to shovel, I will shovel. I will do whatever. They might have to pay me in hot dogs or brats, but hey. DM says there is nothing like playing in bad weather. It just had the entire game has a different cast. Now I understand that if it snows, there is the possibility that the Packers, crap happens to the Packers. Ball gets slippery, somebody puts it on the ground. Crazy things can happen, but these games are epic. And we haven't had for a while. We've had cold games, but we haven't had as many of these snow games that you might think in winter in Wisconsin, Green Bay, Wisconsin, and I hope we get it. It will just make that game freaking awesome. I got so many people wanting to talk to me right now, and I only want to talk to you guys, all right? So leave me alone. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally joking. It's actually business, unfortunately. So Maurice says, what's up? Maurice Carr. I have Carr, C-A-R-R, in my family. I don't know. We might be related, dude. Says, what's up? Made his prediction. We haven't done that. Trent says they pay $10 an hour to shovel. Great, because I might need the money for gas to get home from this trip. All right, folks. It's Prediction Friday. Roll them out. Frankly, I got up. I didn't get up late, but I got up and I was just doing other things, and I didn't really think too much about my prediction just yet. However, I'm going to talk it through. It's developing. I know kind of where I'm going with it. Brown gives love to everyone. Derek says 17-13 Packers. Tammy says, I'd pay them $10 an hour to shovel snow at Lambeau. Maurice says, 32-24 Packs, 3 TDs, rip. Daniel, 35-29 Packers. Brown says, 21-17 Pack. Tim says, 24-17 Pack. Ryan, 28-24 Packers in a close one. Randy says 13-7 Green Bay with the win. Rick Motti says, what's up, buddy? Hey, what's up, man? I hope you're doing well. I know you had I don't know, maybe I shouldn't. I know you had kind of a minor procedure done, and I hope you are doing well, my friend. We got a 21-24. We got a 24-20. 24-17. Waylon says 22-14. Diana says 27-10 Pack, and Sean says 24-10 Pack. Peter's got 35-30 Packers. Everybody's still calling the Packers except my buddy Rick Motti. If there's one thing Rick Motti is, he is a straight-up guy. He will tell you, there's no question what you're thinking. And Rick says 27-24 Seahawks in this game. I missed Trent's. Trent, put yours up again, my man. I missed it. I can't keep up. Yeah, you guys can see the picks. For my part, there's offensively for the Packers, I think there's 2 ways that this game can go. And I'm not sure which I'd prefer. I believe the Packers are, I think that the Packers need Aaron Rodgers to be throwing the ball regardless. Trent's got Seahawks 10, Green Bay 17 in a low-scoring affair. What do we got here? Sean says 38-24 Pack. Ooh, there's a big one, 38-24. For my part, if I was going to break it down, I would say offense, number one, they're not going to break 30. They have never broken 30. I hope I'm wrong about that because they're capable. In the weather conditions, that's not the kind of conditions I would expect for example, and I hope I'm wrong, a game in which the Packers offense scores 38 points. I think that can happen. The way that I think that would happen is if the Seahawks turn the ball over quite a bit. If they struggle in the conditions and the Packers can take the ball away, that's when I see that being a possibility. I don't see us getting that many series. I don't see this Packers coaching staff really game planning to try to get enough series to score 38. I think what they're going to game plan to do is a possession kind of a game. And again, that can go one of two ways. It can be a mix of the run and the short passing game, or they can try to pound the rock. I would like to see a mix of the short passing game, Jared Cook, Randall Cobb, and then maybe if you get a chance, even Devontae Adams and Jordy Nelson. But then a steady mix. Stretch the defense out with Ty Montgomery, pound the rock up the middle with Christine Michael. But don't be afraid to throw on third down. It's going to be crucial to this game is going to be keeping our third downs manageable. If we don't keep our third downs manageable, we are going to be in trouble in this game. And that's partly due to the weather conditions. It's not that we've shown we have the personnel to convert on third and long, but that is the last situation this team can afford to be in against the Seattle Seahawks, especially with their defensive backfield. They've got guys that can blitz from the defensive backfield. We do not want to get into third and longs. We want to keep third down manageable is job one. I think we're going to play a possession game. The overall philosophy of this game is going to be, I think, partly because we don't know what we've got in Christine Michael, and partly because we know what we've got in James Starks. I think the coaching staff realizes finally that they need to have Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball, and they need to have him throwing in the short passing game to get in a rhythm. I think we come out and we have a few short passes. And then we start mixing the run in. We have a heavy dose of the run right off the bat. First quarter, I think we see a heavy dose of Christine Michael to see what he can do. They're going to test the water with Michael. And I believe he is going to respond. I truly believe he is going to be a difference maker in this game. I don't have a bold prediction along those lines, but I think he's going to be a difference maker in this game. And I think we find a way to mix the pass and the run because, again, our part of our running back situation is question marks. So we still are going to have to lean on the guys we got that we know. We know Jordy Nelson can play in the snow. We know Randall Cobb can play in the snow. We know Devontae Adams has been around it. He's still perhaps, maybe as of last game, he's played in the snow. Jared Cook is another one. We're going to need to rely on these guys. Garth is saying long drives, eat up the clock. And I completely agree. That's exactly the kind of game plan we need to have in place, especially if the wind kicks up the way. The snow is one thing, but the snow is much less of a concern to me than that wind that we had. If it swirls around like it did last night out at Lambeau Field, I am concerned for this game. And the only passing game I want to see out there is the short passing game at that point. And at that point, we may falter enough to have to look to just pounding the rock. We need to play a possession game. Every second that ticks off the clock that our offense is on the field is a second that their offense is not. We have to watch out for Jimmy Graham. Trent mentioned it earlier. Jimmy Graham is dangerous to this Packers team. We have seen tight ends get yards against us. The beauty of it is, at least for a few weeks now, we have not had the tight ends absolutely destroying us and tearing us up. So hopefully we can keep the Seahawks offense off the field as much as possible. Remember, Russell Wilson played for the Wisconsin Badgers. The snow is not going to mean diddly squat to him. He is not going to be afraid of it. In fact, the snow, I think they're going to have Russell Wilson kind of on alert to go ahead and run more than he usually would if the pass isn't there. We've got to be careful. I think we need to spy on him at least early to see what happens and what his tendencies are going to be in this game. Defensively, so offensively, we need to play a possession game. I think that ends up giving us maybe, we've got to be good in the red zone. Third downs and red zone completion are going to be absolutely critical, but time of possession is going to be right up there as well. And so if we do that, I think that this Packers team in this game could break the 20 mark. Maybe that 21 to 24 mark. You're talking maybe 3 touchdowns and a field goal. I mean, that's basically what we've been able to do in the most recent past. It's certainly not out of the realm of possibility. And I think that kind of a score, actually, if it comes in, like Garth said, those long possession, clock-eating drives with multiple plays, I think it bodes very well for the Packers. I think at that point, the 21 to 24 range actually could be a win for the Green Bay Packers. Now, the question is, what does our defense do? If our offense can keep Seattle's offense off the field as much as possible, I think it is up to our defense. This is a banged-up defense. I think if Mike Daniels plays out of his mind like he has been for a while here, he's had a couple games I didn't think he was as good. I don't know if he's dinged up or what, but if Mike Daniel has 1 sack in this game, I think the Packers may very well win this game. I think that might be a touchstone and might explain the entire Packers defense, how they're going to end up playing, is the play of Mike Daniels in this game. Our defensive line is starting to come into its own, I think. This is a 3-4 defense. We don't run the base package that much. I wouldn't be surprised to see Julius Peppers with his hand in the ground quite a bit in this game. Perry is out. That's a problem. That hurts our rotation in the outside linebacker, that elephant position in particular. So we are going to need Mike Daniels to just absolutely bring on the beast from start to finish in this game. We're going to need Clay Matthews to do the same. I think if Clay Matthews plays the way he did against the Texans, I fear that we can't win this game. And I'm pretty sure that we can't win it with only 21 points. But I am expecting with another week, it doesn't sound like Clay Matthews is much better than he was, but I think that Clay Matthews, if he goes out there, he's another guy that understands what's at stake, and I have a feeling he's going to have a good game. If he goes out there and amps up his game, he and Julius Peppers are going to be difference makers in this, and I'm hoping that Ryan can play. If he plays, we've got a chance to hold this Seattle Seahawks. If we hold them to minimal drives, and we can get them into 3rd and long, we've got a chance. Now, the key on defense to me, overall, if I was going to say about this entire game, doesn't have as much to do with, I hate to say it this way, but I think the key for our defense is getting at least 1 turnover. We finally saw the turnovers come back, and all of a sudden we saw this defense able to hold teams to 13 points. I think at least 1 turnover is absolutely critical for this defense being able to hold the Seattle Seahawks enough to where the Packers offense can outscore them in this game. I think it's critical. You can give me a thumbs up if you agree. I know some of you out there had been watching the way the interceptions, the turnovers just disappeared. They dried up on us. Well, we finally got them back in the last couple games, and thank goodness for Clinton Dix. And I love the way that guy plays. I played that position a little bit a long time ago, so I have a little soft spot in my heart. But I love the way that guy plays football. And we are going to need him out there. And Kyler Fackrell injured as well. We'll see whether he can go. He's going to need to make a difference as well. He's shown it. He got himself a sack. The other one is Dean Lowry is going to need to play. He's going to be playing quite a bit in this game. He bought himself some reps with that sack against the Texans. We want to see more out of him. Continue to grow and to go out there and play in the snow like we know he can. All right. Well, folks, I don't have anywhere to write it down, so I'm going to have to write it down after. I usually write it on the board, my prediction. I think I'm torn between a 2 touchdown, 2 field goal for 20. Or a 3 touchdown game. I think if they do put the ball in the hands of Aaron Rodgers, he's going to find a way to get into the end zone. And now that I believe they have a running game that's going to be, I think their running game could be very effective in this game. Partly because of Aaron Ripkowski and what he's been able to do, to be honest. So I'm going to go 3 touchdowns and a field goal for 24 for the Packers. I think they may need that field goal. And like I said, I've got this weird feeling that this game is going to come down to a field goal. And I hope it's one that Mason Crosby kicks right through the middle of the uprights that sails over Lambeau Field and lands in the bay, for crying out loud. But I think that it might, I just got this feeling. I don't know why. Because, you think about it, it's probably one of these ground pound games. You're just trying to cross the goal line with your biggest running back and your biggest offensive line package. But at this point, I've got the Packers with 24, which leads to the question, what is the Seattle offense going to be able to do? And for crying out loud, I mean, they dropped a 40-burger on in their last game, didn't they? They're able to score. I think the weather is going to hamper them a little bit. I think I'm going to hedge my bet that the Packers defense gets one interception, because I think to get 3 touchdowns, we are going to have that turnover and score on that turnover. So either a touchdown or the field goal, if the field goal doesn't end up being sort of a last-minute thing. And, the Seahawks, I think they're going to lean on Jimmy Graham a lot in this game. I think they're going to use him, and I think in the middle of the field he's going to be effective between the 20s. I think the Packers have a chance of keeping him out of the end zone. So I'll give them 1 ground touchdown. Yeah, I gotta figure Jimmy Graham. They're going to look to him in the end zone at some point. 14. 14 points, 2 field goals. I have got 24-20, the Packers winning this one. I think that might be somewhat close to how it comes down. Not quite as low a scoring affair, but again, we're not looking at a shootout, I don't think. If it comes to that, it's going to be a very interesting game in snow at Lambeau. So we will see. I mean, there's a possibility it comes to that. If the Seahawks get out there and get on fire early, Packers are going to have to respond. So we have had some of those higher scoring predictions, and it is a possibility. Well, folks, that is my prediction, 24-20. Packers over the Seahawks in the game that I am going to observe from the stands with my buddy, the Cigar Soldier, Garth Bugenhagen. Love you, man. Can't wait. Be there in just a day or so. I cannot freaking wait. And in the meantime, folks, if you... Tyron is asking, do you see a safety? Well, that's actually a great question. Do you see a safety in this game? The way that Jacob Shum is punting the ball right now, I think it's a possibility. Because again, are you going to try to, let's say he can dump one on the 1-yard line again, like he's shown he can. Are you going to try to pass out of that? No, you're probably going to have to try to run. You get one slipped initial step by a running back, and that can be a safety just like that. Then add to that the fact, maybe on first down you gain a yard or whatever, but you still, in the end, you end up in 3rd and long. Now your quarterback has to drop back into the end zone. A safety is a possibility in these kind of conditions. I wouldn't predict one at this point, but I do see it as a possibility. All right, folks. Well, yesterday evening we played a little Packer Domination League on FireFan. If you haven't gotten in, download FireFan. It's a free download. They'll probably throw a few tokens your way if you want to get in and play. It was a freaking blast. I freaking killed it last night, I must say. I'm gonna pound my chest a little bit. I killed it. I had a slow start. I had a string of like flame out series, all red X's, and then I came back around and I pulled it out in the end. So, we're having fun with it. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. We're going to have 10 more people jumping on here real quick as well. So join FireFan. All you got to do is put in the promo code GetTheRing, and very soon you will be playing for the Precious, which is our league trophy. All right? So, folks, I'm going to let you guys go. It's an app. You get it in the App Store, your respective App Store. Either one, it's available. And just put in the code GetTheRing, all one word, and search for me. My name is Brady Augustine, or you can search Packer Domination, and my league will come up for you. And Virginia says she missed the game. Oh, it was a good one. It was a good one. But again, we're going to start the real league, and that's when it's going to matter, okay? So don't sweat anything. We were just having a little fun. We're trying it out. We had a few glitches, actually, last night, which was kind of a surprise. It had been playing real well, so they had a lot of traffic, I'm sure, probably about 4 times what they had. Maurice is asking, are you going to broadcast your Packers tailgate party? I'm expecting to. I got to talk to Garth about this, but I don't know if we're tailgating or if we're going to cruise around and do a little hop to a few restaurants and bars in the area. We will see what goes, but I am definitely going to go live. My question is, I got Sherm the creepy caddy with me. If we tailgate, we're going to have him out there. And Sherm is freaking tough, man. He doesn't even wear a coat. He does not wear a coat. He's got a little jacket that he wears, and that's it, man. This dude is tough as nails. But we'll have him out there tailgating probably if that's what we do. If not, we'll be cruising around Green Bay and having a good time. But yeah, I'm going to go live. Also, folks, when we get in the stadium and that stadium is rocking, you guys stay tuned because I'm going to take you guys around the stadium and we're going to have a lot of fun. I cannot freaking wait. The most important thing is that the Packers find a way. They're going to have to really dig deep in this game, but I hope that they can find a way to get it done. It would be the most brilliant thing and the most exciting thing ever if the Packers find a way to get it done. Peter is asking when the real league starts. I will probably kick that off in the next Packers game. It's not a workout. I would have loved to have done it in this live game and played with you guys live from Lambeau. I probably will be playing this game. So if you're not on FireFan yet, get on there because I will be playing. You might beat me because I probably won't be paying quite as much attention to it as I usually do. But get FireFan now. Don't wait. But the League for the Precious will probably begin next week because I've got some things I've got to do. I've got to lay out the league. We've got to come up with a name. You guys are going to name it. So yeah, probably next week. And in the meantime, I'm going to be playing with you guys from Lambeau, and that's how it works. And if any of those folks that have mentioned to me that you're going to be at Lambeau, we're all going to be playing together. We're all going to be cheering together. We're all going to be watching, hopefully, a big Packer win. So, all right, folks. Trent, I'm going to get off here. Trent, I'll give you a holler in just a minute here. You guys have a great Friday. The weekend is here. Enjoy it. Have a safe and wonderful weekend. I will see you Sunday, definitely more than once. I am not sure what, when, or why. Just set your notifications so it comes across your Facebook. Check it out. We're going to be going live quite a bit and having a ton of fun. Hopefully bringing you guys into this trip. I've enjoyed talking to you all the way across the state from my hometown, all the way up from Tennessee. We're having a great time, but it is coming down to one thing, and that important thing is the Packers beating the Seahawks at Lambeau Field. I can't wait. We'll talk to you again soon. Have a good one. See you Sunday. Bye-bye.